I actually think the most difficult thing about homeschooling is probably just grading students' work. It can be a little unnerving and it can have a feeling of uncertainty about it. And so, one of the first things I did when I started directing Challenge B was to create a grading rubric for the lost tools of writing, which we call LTW. So, I'm going to walk you through how I use this grading rubric. I've had a lot of parents fall in love with this, and I've had several parents ask if I would go ahead and customize it to the Challenge A curriculum and the Challenge 1 curriculum. So today I'm going to be walking through the Challenge A LTW grading rubric. And if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Erica Lynn, and it is my hope to help homeschooling become easy for you too. So we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to be using this digital copy as I walk through here. What I am going to do is start in the bottom left-hand corner because this section down here is actually the key to the whole grading rubric. If you look down here, you'll notice essays 1 through 6 listed with different colors. Each of these colors represent the special things that we're adding in for each new essay. So I have the essay listed 1 through 6. Next to it, I have the book that your Challenge A student is actually reading and writing this essay over. As we get to the bottom, essays 4, 5, and 6, they're going to be using the same essay form to write multiple papers. So notice there's multiple books listed there. And then at the far side of that, I have the point value possible. So that is adding up all the structure elements and all the figures of speech, which we're going to dive into in just a second. And that's giving them 10 points each, and that's the total points available for that essay. Now, above that, you notice this white column. These are things that your Challenge A student is not going to be using in their papers yet, but will start using in Challenge B and Challenge 1. So I'm not going to spend much time here. First, at the top, you'll notice I have all the components of the MLA format. Once you start writing in high school, it is required that all your papers are written in MLA or APA format. For exposition, you're going to want to use the MLA. It does say it's optional. If you want to go ahead and use that, you can do it. Just add 10 points per box to the total for each essay. Then underneath that are your IEW dress-ups that you used in Essentials. We're not using those this year, okay? We don't want to distract the students by putting decorations on their paper before they have the outline really understood and memorized so that they can outline their paper correctly every time. So this year, ignore those dress-ups, but in the future, you'll get to pull them back out again. Now to the meats and bones. I want to pause here for just a moment and point out something. There's two things that you're really grading when you grade a paper. One is the content. Two is the mechanics. This grading rubric is all about mechanics, okay? If you want to grade content, here's two recommendations I have for you. Number one, in the beginning, definitely in Challenge A, maybe in Challenge B, depending upon how quickly your student is progressing. I like to follow the same guidelines that we used in Essentials, and that was hands-on structure, hands-off content. So when it comes to content, I'm not concerned about what reasons they're using in their paper or what proofs they've come up with. I want them to be able to pick whatever's convincing to them or whatever they like and use it without judgment. Now, when you get to Challenge 1 for a higher level course, especially if you're going to count this as an honors course, which the curriculum is strong enough to be counted as an honors course. To grade like an honors course, it is expected that they have a higher level of thought. So when you're grading their paper, here's the question I ask. Is this the most convincing and persuasive paper you could have written? Are these proofs and subproofs the most convincing proofs and subproofs for the person you are writing to, which is found in your amplification? You pick your audience and you write to that audience. That's something that we work on Challenge B. Challenge A, I don't recommend diving into all of that yet. The second part that you're grading is the mechanics. That's what we're doing here. The mechanics are the technical parts. So for us with LTW, it's going to be your outline components, your rhetorical devices, the MLA format if you're using that, okay? So let's dive into these mechanics. That's going to be on the right side of your grading rubric. First, and the largest section is the outline. This is everything you're covering in week 2. Notice I haven't included anything from week 1. All of that Annie chart and brainstorming is going to go into the first part of grading, which is your content, and you may or may not choose to grade that. It's not covered on this grading rubric. So starting in week 2 of your LTW cycle, you're covering arrangement. That's your outline. Each essay adds more components to the arrangement, hence the color coding I've done. Notice down essay 1 is highlighted blue. When you look at this outline section, all the blue colored portions need to be included in that essay 1, and you're going to get 10 points for every component of the outline. When you move on to essay 2, you need to do all the essay 1 blue parts and you need to do the essay 2 yellow portions. Now you're going to be having additional things and your score is going to go up from 120 points to 140 points required. When you get to pink, essay 3, you're going to keep your blue and your yellow parts of your outline and then add in the pink highlighting. This follows the exact structure in the LTW guide and follows the sample essays in the back of the book. So this is just giving you a quick and easy way to check mark, yes, they got this component of the outline, or no, mark a circle, that is missing. And these black boxes show you exactly where to mark that. Now, you notice my black boxes move to the right as you go through this paper. Here's why. Every time the boxes move to the right, you need to start a new paragraph, notated by the paragraph numbers up at the top. Each paragraph is represented by a column on this grading rubric. So as your paragraph boxes move to the side, you know that item is supposed to be in a new paragraph. Now, I don't count off if the student puts it in the wrong paragraph, but I do mark it on the paper and tell them that they need to fix that for next time. The only thing that is different between this grading rubric and your example essays in the back of the LTW curriculum is the exordium. Now, Challenge A, you don't have to worry about this because you're not getting to essay 7, but essays 1 through 6 keep the exordium as part of the paragraph below it. When you get to essay 7, they switch it all and they make the exordium a complete paragraph all on their own. I don't know why they change it at the end, but I want my students practicing it the correct way from the beginning. So on your grading rubric, I have separated the exordium out into paragraph number 1. Then you move over to the next paragraph starting for your next items. Parents, you can choose how you want to do that, but this grading rubric reflects the correct outline for essay 7, which is your complete outline. We don't add anything past essay 7, and you're going to do essay 7 next year in B and the following year in 1. Okay, below the outline is the week 3 components, which is your elocution, and this is covering your rhetorical devices. Each essay, except for essay 1, is going to have a special rhetorical device that you're adding into the paper. Think of these exactly like your dress ups last year. They're going to function the exact same way, except for this time, you don't need one per paragraph. You only need one per paper. Now, you'll notice I have the paragraph numbers at the top. When I find the rhetorical device in the paper, I just put an X under the paragraph number that it is in. So if I've read the entire paper and I could not find that rhetorical device, I put a circle under the number 1 paragraph just to remind myself that was missing from the whole essay. It actually doesn't matter which paragraph your rhetorical device is in. That's up to the writer's choice. The other thing I want to mention is they're highlighted not only to match the essay numbers on the side to make it easy for grading, but also I ask my students to match the highlighting in the grading rubric to the paper they write. So get out your yellow and pink and purple and orange and green highlighters. When you put your figures of speech into your paper, highlight it the matching color. This helps me. That way I'm not trying to guess where your rhetorical device was. I can see exactly where you put it. It also helps me in case the student did the figure of speech wrong. Then I can see this is where they attempted to do it instead of thinking they didn't even try. And then I can teach them how to do it right the next time. So this has been a big help to me. At the bottom, 7, 8, and 9, those rhetorical devices you won't use until challenge B and challenge 1. That's why they're not highlighted any color. Once I have gone through and marked all of the components, I add them up. 10 points for all your outline components and 10 points for your rhetorical device. That gives me a total. I take that total and put it under points at the top, and then I take the total points they got divided by the total points available, which is listed down at the bottom, or you can add it up yourself, and divide those out. That gives me their percentage grade. And that is how I total out their LTW papers. I hope this is helpful to you and it takes the stress and the uncertainty out of grading. And if you watch this whole video, please put a heart in the comments below. That means the world to me, and it knows that you is helpful to you. And you can buy this grading rubric in my Classful account linked in the description below. You all have a great day. Bye.